Looks like it can handle this, no problem. I'm gonna turn on the toaster real quick. Let's see what this does. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check it out. Today I'm reviewing the ALLPOWERS S2000 power station. Also got their solar panel over here. I think this is a 200 watt. Also gonna bust that out of the box and charge this on it. As always, my power station reviews and all my reviews in general incorporate unboxing, really inspecting the product out, testing it on all the ways you can charge it, usually solar, car charging, and home grid charging to see how fast it can charge, what kind of inputs we can get on it. And then just kind of putting it on peripherals like kettles, heating devices, just to see really how much this thing can handle and what kind of features it has. Usually wireless now, where they have like an app you can load up on your phone and you can monitor it from a distance so you don't have to be there looking at the screen to see what's happening. So anyway guys, let's get started with the ALLPOWERS power station. All right, so we do have some specs on here. This one's called the S2000. It's a 1500 watt hour battery. AC input capacity is going to be 400 watt max, so not the fastest charging I've seen. Some of them can go over a kilowatt in charging that I'm testing right now, so that's crazy. It does have that XD60 solar panel input, and you can actually input it higher than you can with the AC on the solar panel, 500 watt max. I do have some higher end 400 something watts portable solar panels, so maybe we'll see and put that on and see what it can take. Anyway, let's get this thing unboxed. First of all, I should say that they do have handles on the sides. Since these things are getting pretty heavy now, I really do appreciate companies giving you some kind of handle to carry it. Some of them have handles on top, little plastic handles. Some have them on the sides. Some don't have any handles at all. It's really great to have a box that has handles to hold, otherwise you're just lifting it. So check it out. We have a little booklet with a little warranty card. This looks like it's just our instruction manual. So it does look like it's in English for the beginning. So at least we have, yeah, shows you how to do the app and shows you all the stuff. So great instruction manual there. Awesome. Wow, we have a baggie here, and this is great. I mean, there's something to be said for companies that give you a nice zippable bag, not just a cardboard box, where we have stuff like our solar charging cable, our grid power house charging cable, and our car charging cable. They did hit the mark on this. Great job, ALLPOWERS, for including this bag. It's really frustrating when some of them just have like a little disposable plastic bag or a little disposable cardboard box. Spend an extra buck or two and give us a nice bag like this to hold all of our cables. Just kind of reaching over on the other side, and wow, one of the few that also give us a cover. Very nice. Don't need the box, you know, I mean, keep the box for a while in case you need to return it from a defect. Look at this cover. What a great cover, and it's all encapsulating. So you put the power station in here. The bottom is this kind of rugged waterproof material, and then the sides are also like this canvas rubberized material. So it looks like this is going to be a very weatherproof case. They've got weatherproof zippers. Very nice. So I think this is the best case I've seen yet for a power station. So kudos, ALLPOWERS. All right, let's put that on the side. And here it is, guys, the power station. Honestly, not too heavy. Let's take a look at this thing, and then we'll see how it all kind of goes in the bag and how that bag performs on it. But check this thing out, man. It is a really heavy duty plastic. Some of them are aluminum. Some of them are really cheap, thin plastic. It looks like these guys chose to go with this really thick, heavy duty plastic, almost like the drone plastic that I review. But this is a solid plastic piece, two handles. Looks like we even have these little nuts here to hold them on. This is all plastic up here, not as thick here. I can see it bending in a little bit. Be careful, don't step on that. Looks like you could crack it. We got a power input right here, 100 to 240 volt input to generator or home wall charge it. A vent here on the side with our, there's no fan on this side. Switch over to the next side, and there's going to be our cooling fan passing air through the whole unit. So really nothing else except the front and the bottom. Nice rubber feet here, so it's not going to slide around and slip around. Looks like they're glued on there really good. And let's take a look at the front. Main reason you're going to buy one of these is for all of these outputs, right? So we have a screen protector protector. Good job. Some of them I see like manufacturing fingerprints from the inside, but this one looks really nice and clean. Good job. And here's all of our AC outputs. So we have 4, and it doesn't look like they're grounded, but they have the grounding hole, so you can plug in a grounded cable. Interesting little ALLPOWERS upgrade certification circle there. Not sure what that means, but this should be a wireless with an app control, so we should be able to monitor it from a distance. I'm going to go through that with you on the app as well. A DC 12 volt output. Let's see how this thing comes off from the right. These are great because if you have like cooler or any other devices that run off of the lighter adapter plug, you're not going to have that conversion loss in AC. So you're going to get more power, more runtime through DC devices. We got Type C 1 and 2 ports, USB 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Doesn't say how much wattage they are on them. Usually I like to see amperage and wattage or one or the other. Little Bluetooth button here for our wireless connection. AC, I just clicked it and just came on there. Let's see if you guys can see that screen. Not the best screen, but at least it's kind of colored and pretty bright. Not going to be that great for direct glare, but as we can see, we have battery icon here with our estimated runtime. It's saying 935 hours with nothing, no draw, just on like this with the AC on. And we're at 78% charged from the factory. We got 0 out wattage here. See if we click and hold the AC. Okay, that just turned on the fan and the AC rail. As we can see, that time already changed to 40 hours because we're having that kind of ghost draw from the AC rail. So definitely keep that off as much as possible. Looks like this is a click and holder for both of them. Click on the DC rail and hold it. That is not coming on. Let's just tap it. There we go. So that's a tap. That's a click and hold. So that basically turned on our DC rail. Let's go ahead and open this up and see what we got here. So our typical XT60 connector for all of our inputs aside from the home charging, right? We're going to have our solar power and our car charging plug in right there. It is nice when they have little ports like this just for safety and also to keep the dust out. As you can see, they don't have any port covers on here or these. I always like to see covers on everything just to keep them clean when you're not using them. Anyway, guys, that's really all there is to it. We already looked in the bag for those connectors. Let's try to fit it in this cool bag here. Yeah, this is a great cover, man. Look at this thing. It's even padded on the right sides. Slip this bad boy over the top. Now this is what I want to see all power stations do. You're spending a pretty good amount of money buying a decent power station. You want to protect it, right? Water gets on these things, you could really damage them. But look at that. So we have everything. These even pop up. They got Velcro on the sides, but you can either hold it and lift it with the cover on, or they got these little pop-ups where you can put your hands right in temporarily and carry it. Awesome job, ALLPOWERS. Weatherproof, dust-proof cover here. I'm really impressed. And we want to just pop this thing off. You probably don't really want to use it all closed up, right? You want to at least unzip this and have this down and these ports exposed when you're using it, because that airflow is going to go from side to side and cool the unit. So let's unbox this solar panel next, see what that's all about. Get it over there in the sun, start charging it. We'll hook up our app and see if we can connect to it. All right, guys, so let's see what these guys are all about. It's always awesome to have some type of solar charging. If you are camping, if you are RVing, I like that green color. That's cool. That looks like kind of a reflective green color. Anyway, there it is. We have these Velcro feet, like most of them come with. That is a really tough Velcro with these elastic little stand straps here. Nice handle on the top, very grippy and padded. Cool, we got these loops for holding it down in some wind. Over on the back, let's check this out before we set it up. Check it out, guys. Weatherproof zipper. Always like to see that. Some of them don't include weatherproof zippers on these things. We've got our manual. We have a nice little connector rail here for adapters, for connecting to other devices and other cables. Awesome. Oh, this is great. You don't see this much. This is actually a battery adapter attachment. So if your battery dies in your car, or if you have like alternate energy batteries or something at your house, or you're camping with them, attach these to your positive and negative power plugs and plug this right into your solar panel. You can charge your batteries directly. That's awesome. I haven't really seen anybody include those. Little instruction manual here. This looks like our main solar adapter to plug into the power station and charge it. They really went the mile to give you all these different cables with adapters that aren't even used for this power station. Like, see that round adapter? This can't even take that round adapter, so that could be used for another power station if you buy these solar panels. And check out another adapter as well, that red and black type of push-in adapter to attach to the solar panels. So at least they're taking care of you on the solar panels. They're giving you a bunch of plugs, a bunch of adapters. Really do think that's awesome. They're not just cheaping out, and they're giving you pretty much all the connectors you're gonna need for attaching different things. But this is where the power station comes with, remember, the solar panel cable we're gonna need to charge this item. And that's this guy right here with this XT60 connector. You know, usually you'd have to buy these cables at like 20 or so bucks a piece to adapt the solar panels to whatever you're doing, but these guys really are trying to take care of it. I think that kind of says something about the company. And here is the cable coming out, a very short cable, guys. There's our positive and negative leads coming out to our solar panel adapters. This really is only like a 2.5 foot cable here. So hopefully this one is a bit longer. Let's see. This guy looks like a 4 foot solar cable. So you're getting about 7 feet of cable here. And here's how you connect them up. I'm just gonna push and clip in these adapters here. One's positive, one's negative, until they can't really come loose. And so this guy is really kind of ready to go. I do just kind of want to check it out here on the table before we set it up. Nice little clips, ALLPOWERS name there on the front. Here's how these solar panels work. Wow, so this is folding in half and then unfolding into a 4-panel system. See that there, guys? That is a 4-panel solar panel there. It looks like we got to remember to fold this up. We're going half first. Some of them have an interesting deal where you fold in the 2 in the middle and then the other ones, but this is half and then half again. Cool, let's set this thing up and see how much charge we can get out of them. All right, guys, let's see how it is setting these bad boys up. I'm going to test these big solar panels over here too on it temporarily as well, just to see if we can get that higher input of wattage. These are always a little bit difficult with the Velcro bottoms because they're so Velcroed. So this is kind of where you want to be careful bending them too much, because I have experience in some of them rough handling, actual cracking of the panels. Okay, so we're going to put these panels over here. The sun is a little low in the horizon because it's winter time, so that is going to affect our charging. But let's see what we get when we just plug in. I don't even know if you guys can see that, but we're charging at 150 watts, just about. Over 150 now, 155. Heard the fan kick on there. So at least we're getting a pretty good input. 150 approximately in this sun condition. So we're gonna let that run a little bit. Now that we know that we're getting that good input there, I just wanna hook up these other panels that do 400 watts. Really briefly. So yeah, we got 140 going in there. These guys are 420 watt panels. Let's see what we get. Try to get this in the shade here. 315, 360. So huge difference, right, guys? Over twice as much wattage just by having these gigantic solar panels. 350 watts from those guys. So we know that this thing can handle quite a bit of wattage. I'm gonna plug back in the ALLPOWERS and let's just let that kind of simmer for a half hour. We're at 78%, charging at approximately 150 watts with these 200 watt solar panels. Definitely gonna be variable depending on the sun. Keep your power station in the shade while it's charging, and let's check back within a half hour. And this is what happens, guys, when you have a gust of wind. They're all like this. They'll just blow down in a gust of wind. So if you have them in a middle area like this, it's gonna be kind of difficult keeping them up. You could put weights on the loops, you know, maybe put a string and put some rocks attached to it there. But that's kind of what happens with these things. So best to strap them up somehow if you can.
A few moments later.
All right, guys, so right on the 30-minute mark for this ALLPOWERS power station. Man, I really wish the screen was brighter. It just seems like it's just way too dim and really way too reflective to do anything. As you can see, I can barely see it. Anyway, let's see if we can possibly see anything with this. So we're charging at like 70 watts right now. We're at 83%. On this one, it doesn't show you how much time you have left till fully charged. So maybe one thing that it's lacking is having that kind of smart estimation of how long at that wattage it's going to charge for. It does tell you how long it's going to last, not how long it's going to take until it's fully charged. So anyway, I'm going to pull it off the solar panels. That was a good little test. It seems to be working fine. I had to move the solar panels back a bit because we were getting in the shade up there, and that's kind of how it is with panels, right? You have to find the sun. So let's go ahead and pull this off, get over into the car, see how it is at car charging, and then we'll plug it into the house and see how it is at house charging, and then we're going to run all of our appliances off of it. So one of the things too, guys, is this flap was flapping in the way of the solar panels. Guys, let's see how this thing is at car charging. Definitely a super thick lighter adapter cable. I'm not sure why they have it this thick, but either way, let's go ahead and plug in to the car adapter. Too thick to go in. There it goes. And I'm just going to start with my ACC on just to kind of give it power to the lighter adapter, and then we're going to start the car and see what the difference is. So plugging in with the power station turned off. There we go. We're getting some registration on wattage. Cool. So that was very simple. What are we doing? We're going between, it's kind of fluctuating, probably because the car's not on. So let me turn the car on while we watch the screen. There we go. So definitely you really don't want to charge things that are going to take this much wattage when your car's off. But there we go. We're getting a good 123 watts of auto charging straight from the lighter adapter while the car's running. Still wish they would have some kind of estimated time till charge, but maybe they're not putting that because they're so inaccurate with these things, because the charge slows down and speeds up as the percentage of the battery goes up. It's working on the car though. All right, guys, let's get into seeing how fast the ALLPOWERS can charge from your home. So say you want to charge this thing up and you're getting ready to go out. Just going to plug in to the back here. Power station is off. Just kicked on its own. Hearing the fans power up. And there we go. That's the maximum charge at 84% is 406 watts in. Usually what these things do is they will slowly go down on the wattage as the percentage on the battery goes up, just to maintain the battery's longevity. So while we're doing this, guys, since we don't have a timer on here, I'm just going to time it on my watch. So we'll go ahead and time it, see how long it takes to get to 100%. We're gonna see that input definitely drop right there. While we're charging it, I want to explore the Wi-Fi abilities of this. Download the app, see what we can do on those smart functions on the app. All right, guys, so here we go. Just punched in ALLPOWERS app in the App Store. Of course, this is an Android, so you may have an iPhone, do the same. And it looks like this came up here, ALLPOWERS. Very simple, just we're gonna install it. This looks like the right one. Let's go ahead and install. Then we'll launch it, and I'll kind of walk through it with you just to show you how to connect and what all of our options are to monitor this power station. I really love these types of Wi-Fi apps because it's so much better just to be away from the power station and look at all the stats, adjust things. So basically we have a Bluetooth member button here. I'm not going to turn that on yet. I'm just going to go ahead and add a device. Let's just press plus on Bluetooth. After short press on Bluetooth button to turn on screen, then long press again to enter Bluetooth mode. So let's try it. Long press. There we go. See how that lit up there? Nice bright green, letting us know it's on. Next step, gonna have to do your location just while using app is fine. Looks like it already found it. ALLPOWERS S2000 version 2. Gonna click on that bad boy and it's already connecting, and look how easy that was. A lot of them are harder than this, but this was literally super easy to do. Everything you just saw is how you do it and how easy it is. So let's see what we can do here, guys. We can turn off and on the AC rail remotely, DC rail remotely. You can switch your frequency from 50 to 60 hertz. We have an input of 406 watts. It also shows us an output. Can't click on these things. Remaining power, little line here, it says 88%. So good, at least we have our percentage there. Some of them don't show that. Also shows the power station graphic up here, 88%. Remaining time, 43 hours and 56 minutes, and that's going up as we charge. 57 minutes, 1 day and 19 hours. So again, unfortunately, it does not show us any estimation of how long it's going to take, and that's probably one of the main downfalls on this thing. Let's turn off our AC and DC since we don't use them. They immediately go off. That's great. And remember, with these kinds of ad hoc direct connections to these things, you can probably be about 100 feet away from them, depending on what's in between you and the power station. So we're going to click on this little option menu up here. You can rename it if you want. So that's cool. That's a good option there. And what we may have to do for updates is log in. So apparently at least you can use it without logging in, but I'm just going to go ahead and log in and see if it gives us any better options and if we can update. Okay, cool. I'm now logged in. I already have this thing on. So the thing that's a little bit concerning is I'm not seeing any update on the menu. All we can do is change the name in the settings. So it looks like maybe they really have some stuff to do and update this application to give it a little bit more functionality similar to a lot of the other ones. Let's just click on me here. Okay, it just says my name. You have a theme, help, about us. I'm just trying to click around here to see if there's any dark theme or light theme. Let's go to help. It looks like they're in the process of updating, but hopefully they can get at least the ability to update the firmware on this thing eventually. So that's what I'm looking for. If you're listening, ALLPOWERS, I'd like to see time remaining until fully charged. I would like to see more in the options here instead of just changing the name of the unit. I'd like to see updating the unit firmware. I'd also like to see some things like other smart power stations have, like maybe a time shut off for each rail and each type of device. That would be great to see that, because a lot of the other smart power stations have all those. So anyway, that's really all we can do in the app. Nonetheless, great to have this thing around. If you're camping in your power station somewhere else, you want to monitor it, you're outside of your location up to around 100 feet, at least you can do all this stuff and look at it and turn off and on AC and DC, and that's pretty much all you can do. What I would like to see is if we turn the power station off. And as you can see, there's no real off button on this, right? As soon as you press an AC or DC button, the power station just kicks on. So it's kind of like just goes into sleep mode apparently. There's no full off button on this. So hopefully it's not going to ghost drain power. Let's let this thing charge up completely to 100% and then just really give it a hard time on some of the high draw devices and see what it can take, what it can do before it actually clips off. Okay guys, now for the real test on the ALLPOWERS. So I gotta say this thing took another hour to actually get to 100% from where we were at. One of the things is the fan seemed a little bit loud, kind of had like a mechanical grinding sound to it. So not the quietest when it's charging. Seems like it could get a little bit irritating. But anyway, I have the app up here and we're 100% charged. So let's just start going here. One little thing I noticed is if the screen is off, like in sleep mode, and you have your app up, if you just kind of like cycle through one of the outputs, it actually turns on the screen just like that. So at least you have that ability to, you know, turn it on remotely from a distance. Anyway, let's turn on these outlets. So we've got AC and DC both on. We'll be able to also monitor the phone as well, just to see what the output is from the device when we're testing it. So first thing I want to do is just kind of plug in a couple of USB devices to the USB type C ports here. These are going to be the highest output port. So there's my iPad here and it did just click on and start charging. Also just kind of wanted to put on my phone here while we're at it. There goes the phone plugged in, and as you can see it's 39% and it's charging. We'll go ahead and set this on the side and try to monitor this. Let's see if I can finagle this power cable up through the table so we can charge it while we're testing. There we go. As I plug those in, you guys can see that we have a total wattage use of about 23 watts that's charging these two devices here. And now let's go for the heavy lifting of this thing. So I have a 2-bay toaster. I've got a electric kettle here. And if this thing can handle both of these, I do want to try this crock pot slash air fryer. We're going to try this big boy if it can handle some of this other stuff. Let's go ahead and start plugging in. I'm just going to plug this one in on this side. Remember, there is a larger and a smaller port there. We'll plug this one in on this side. First thing I want to do is turn on this kettle. So right now with our DC output, we're just at like 8 watts. Let's go ahead and turn on this kettle here. And I heard that thing power up. That fan kicked back on and we're pulling 928 watts to start this kettle boiling. So the water should start to boil. We'll be monitoring that. You can see that it's heating, starting to bubble on the bottom. So far so good at 920 watts about. Let's go ahead and start this toaster. Just basically a medium number 4. And remember, this is a dual base, so it's going to suck some wattage. So as I push this down, we're going to monitor the wattage output. Pushing down, and we're jumping up to 15, 1680, 1690. So let's see how long this thing can last at 16. Remember, this is right around 2000 watt power station, so it should be able to handle this until it possibly pops. Again, if it can handle this, I'm gonna go ahead and put that bad boy up there and just see what it takes to clip this off. All right, here we go. Toaster's just about done here. 3, 2, 1. And it looks like the screen will sleep until you press a button quickly, guys, even though it's drawing a bunch of power. So our dual toast is finished. That's going to be a slightly brown toast there. We're just waiting for our hot water boiler to finish. Just want to kind of get it to a rolling boil until it automatically clicks off like they normally do. As you can see, that kettle is taking 900, I want to say 930, because these two devices are taking about 10 watts to charge right now. So far so good. We're at 91% with all of that action we just did. We're down 10% from 100 doing the toast, charging two devices, and this sucker is almost done boiling. Go ahead and check the phone. Almost forgot we had our phone here. AC output saying 939, 940, so it's just mirroring what you're seeing on the screen. And there's our nice rolling boil. That thing should click off. Then we'll go ahead and test a little bit more power draw. There we go. So our water is hot for whatever we want to use it for. And that sucker is going to drop down. The fan just shut off. So it is multi-speed fan, just to let you know when it is on high, it is a little bit loud. Anyway, so we know it can do these two things. I want to go ahead and I'm going to put this toaster up here, and we're going to turn on the crock pot slash air fryer. So these things are great because these are kind of like little ovens all in one. These are basically broiler, baker, roaster, air crisper, and a crock pot. You just put in the other lid. So this does everything. So these things are pretty popular, and they would be pretty awesome to take with you if you have like an RV or whatnot, or if you're camping or whatever you're doing and you need to do some stuff. So we're gonna do just an air crisp at 400 degrees. That should be the maximum wattage draw. There we go. That's on. This is kicking on here, and we're sucking 1240 watts about on the ALLPOWERS power station. We have our identical readout on our screen there. Awesome. What do we want to do, guys? Let's try to run this while we're toasting. Let's see what our output is now. 1619, 2000 watts. Let's see if it can run on 2000 for a little while, or if it'll trip. It should be able to do this because this is under the 2000 watt maximum. Running everything perfectly fine. I'm gonna stop the toaster, see if we can go a little further over 2000 watt by just hitting this hot water boiler again. So we're at 250 about right now with just the crock pot. Boom. Turning that bad boy on. We're at 21, and of course that's gonna boil again quick. Looks like it can handle this, no problem. I'm gonna turn on the toaster real quick. Let's see what this does. Wow, yeah, so that tripped it. Everything shut off. We have an error that was kind of flashing for a second, and everything stopped. So let's see if we can just turn this AC back on. Yes. All right, easy way to reset it. All you do is press and hold it. Water is still trying to boil. It looks like much over 2000 watts is gonna trip it. That was just too much for it, but it will run things that are just a tad over 2000 watts, as we saw. Start that again, raise our temp to 400. Let's do toast again. And I just kind of want to let it sit here for a few minutes and see if it trips. I'll go ahead and let it run for the length of this toast, a minute and a half. We'll see if it trips. We'll see what the percentage is left. And I think that's going to kind of do it for our load testing. Okay guys, there goes our toast, and we're all set. So that did not trip it. It looks like if you're close, a little over 2000 watts, but close to 2000, it's gonna be able to handle. But like I was saying, you do this, try it one more time, it will trip. If we get too far over 2000, so you see how it's running that? It'll do that, but it won't do all three like that. That's gonna trip it pretty quick, just like that. That's the maximum it can do. Performing very well. Let's go ahead and talk about a pros and cons on this bad boy. So when you buy a power station, you're gonna buy them for usually the amount of wattage you can push through them. So if you wanted something that you could run these three items at the same time, like close to 2500 watts or 3000 watts, you just get a bigger power station that can handle that. But this one is very light for its size. It does have a pretty good app here, a Bluetooth connecting app. There's a little bit of updating it looks like they can do on this. It doesn't have a lot of the smart functions a lot of the other ones has, but it has the basic functions where you can see the percentage, input output power, turn off your AC and DC rails, which is convenient to have up so you're not having to always look at the screen if you're waiting for it to charge to 100% or whatever you're doing. It's great to have that ability to remotely monitor it. So it worked as expected. Let's run into a couple of cons. No wireless charging. I don't know if that's a con for you or not, but a lot of the more advanced ones have a little spot on top. You can just place your phone. Usually newer cell phones now have that wireless charging capability built in, and a lot of these power stations do have that ability. This one doesn't have that. Solar panel over there worked great. Just keep in mind these type of foldable panels like this with the Velcro feet, just be really careful, because if you're bending these kind of rigid panels, even though they're kind of portable and thin, you start to feel some cracking in the cells, and that's definitely not going to be good for them. So just be careful with the solar panel. But all that worked great. Can't say enough about the bag they give you in the pack. This is a must. I think all power stations should have this, and ALLPOWERS does take care of that. The cabling they give you is pretty much beyond what any other power station I have seen provide, especially with that solar panel. We have all of these cables, so we don't have to really buy any more, plus these adapters to get you through a lot of situations. And lastly, what's great about it is look at this case for the whole power station. You're spending this amount of money on a power station, you really want to protect it from dust. This could actually take like a rain or a light rain. It looks pretty waterproof to me. Even the zippers have a weatherproof kind of seal around them slightly, so I think a light rain won't damage it at all if it's kind of encased in this bag. But anyway guys, worked as expected. Just remember that first charge is going to take a while, up to 100%. This one may be a negative for you. The maximum charge is right around 400 watts, so it's not going to charge super fast, but for this size, that's okay. It's going to keep your batteries maintained a little better, not having that super fast charging ability. Because anytime you charge your batteries faster, it kind of wears out the longevity of your battery if you keep charging at a super fast speed. So I think that's a pretty good speed for this. And the only other con is fan noise. So when that thing is pumping out some power or charging, it seems to kick on that fan maximum, and it's just like, it's not the air, it's just something with the fan whining noise is just a little bit much. So if they could work on that too, getting their app completed a little better with some more options. And I think that would pretty much do it. This would be a perfect power station. Otherwise, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you really enjoyed that and it was informative for you. If you're looking for a power station like this and you think this will work for you, go ahead and check down the description down below the video. I'll have the link for this guy. And also, I usually have a discount codes for reviewing it. So if you guys can buy it through that code, you will get my discount. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.